students, welcome back to our subject export import management. So students, in today's session we going to discuss on the procedure to become an exporter. So suppose any producer want to become an exporter, then what is the procedure he has to follow for becoming as an exporter? So that we going to discuss in today's session. So India's foreign trade, that is export and imports, are regulated by foreign trade policy. So the export and import of India is regulated by foreign trade policy, which is we also called as a EXIM policy, export import policy, and in other word we can call it as a foreign trade policy. So this policy is notified by the central government in exercise of powers confirmed by section 5 of Foreign Trade Development and Regulation Act 1992. So it is a whatever the export and import, it regulated by the central government under the foreign trade policy. So this foreign trade policy is also known as a EXIM policy. Presently the 2015 to 20 is a effective from 1st April. So it is a current foreign trade policy. So currently we are following 2015 to 20. Due to COVID pandemic, the 20 year is extended up to the 21. So now it's up to the 21. Then procedure. So first stage to become an exporter, that is establishing an organization. So as we discussed in previous session, that you have to organize your export, you have to start your organization, you have to start your company. That organization may be the sole proprietorship, that may be the partnership firm, that may be the company, means limited liability company or private limited company. So you have to establish, you have to give the name to your business, you have to start your firm. You can start either a proprietary firm, either a partnership, or it may be the private limited or public limited companies. The next stage is to opening a bank account. So first stage you have to establish your organization, then you have to open a bank account. So current account with a bank authorized to deal in foreign exchange should be open. So which bank you have the account, you should have an account in such a bank which have a approval of foreign exchange, and that account should be a current account. Then obtaining permanent account number. So any business, PAN is an very essential. Any organization, first you should have a permanent account number or PAN number. On the basis, it is a base, PAN, it is a base for your income tax. So PAN is a very important factor. So it is necessary for every export and import to obtain a PAN from the income tax department. So we are talking about the export import, but even if you are starting a business and it will work in a domestic market, then also PAN is an very essential. So any business, PAN is an very essential document or very essential number for your business. The next stage, that is obtaining import export code, that is IEC number. So as I told in last session, you have to obtain import export code, that is IEC code number. So as per the foreign trade policy, it is a mandatory to obtain IEC for export import from India. So if you are exporting from India, then you should have a export import code. So without export import code you cannot start the export or import business. So you should take a IEC code. And who issue IEC code? As we discussed in previous lecture, that DGFT, it is an authority who issues IEC code for your export import business. And IEC code is a 10-digit number. So it may ask in your exam in an objective, that is IEC code has how many digits. So IEC code has 10 digits. So as per the foreign trade policy, it is mandatory to obtain IEC for export and import. So it is a mandatory. Without IEC code you cannot start export and import. So an application for IEC is filled online at. So if you want to take IEC code, then you can apply on this website, that is www.dgft.gov.in. So that DGFT, that is the authority who issue the IEC code. So as per the NF 2A, online payment of application fees of rupees 500 through net banking or credit debit card is made along with requisite document as mentioned in the application form. So for IEC code you have to make a payment of rupees 500 and have to submit all the requisite document which is mentioned in the form. Then registration cum membership certificate. So this also given by the promotional agencies. So for promotion of your business, for registration with promotional councils, you have to register you have to register with promotional council, and then promotional council will issue the registration cum membership certificate, that is RCMC. So for availing authorization to import, export or any other benefit or concession under FTP 2015 and 20. So under the foreign trade policy 2015 and 20, if you want to take any benefit, any concession, then you have to take a RCMC certificate. So they provide services. After receiving the RCMC, what benefit, what services will get? So they will avail the various services guidelines. So after becoming the member of RCMC, the exporter will get different services. They will receive the guidance from export, guidance from expert from the export. Then exporters are required to obtain RCMC granted by the concerned export promotional council, FIO, commodity boards, authorities. So those are the authorities who give the registration cum membership certificate. Then selection of product. So after the RCMC you have to select a product. So all items are freely exportable except few items appearing in prohibited restricted list. So all the items can export, but there are some prohibitions which you cannot export. So you have to select an item which you are going to export. Then after studying the trends of export of different products from India, proper selection of products to be exported may be made. So you have to, if you are not producer and you are only the exporter and you are exporting the product from the another company, then you have to select a proper product which you are going to export. And if you are the producer, then it is not necessary to survey all the trends of export and all this. Whatever you are producing, that you have to export. So that is the selection of product. Then selection of market. So an overseas market should be selected after research. So selection of market is a very important factor. You have to select a market outside the India. So that is very crucial stage. You have to survey all the markets. You have to identify what are the products traded in that market, then what is the market size, what is the demand, supply, what is the prevailing prices. So all those factors you have to study, and then you can you can export your product in that market. Then finding buyers. So participation in trade fairs, buyers sellers meets, exhibitions, business to business portals, then web browsing are an effective tools to find the buyers. So how you will find the buyers? So there are the different ways by using which you can find a buyers. So that ways may be the trade fairs, that may be the buyer seller meets, that may be the exhibition, that may be the some, there are so many portals, so you can use the business to business portals, then web browsing. So these are the some ways by which you can find the buyers. Then sampling. So providing customized samples as per the demands of foreign buyers help in getting export orders. So you have to provide a sample to the buyers. Then as per the FTP 2015-20, exports of bona fide trade and technical samples of freely exportable items shall be allowed without any limit. So according to the FTP 2015-20, there is no limit for the sampling size. So as per the demand of buyers, you can provide a sample. Then pricing or costing. So product pricing is crucial in getting a buyer's attention and promoting sales in view of international competition. So the price should be worked out taking into consideration of all expenses from sampling to realization of export proceeds on the basis of terms of sales. So pre on board cost, insurance, freight cost and foreign. So all these items should be covered. Then negotiation with buyers. So after determining the buyer's interest in the product, future prospect and continuity in business demand for giving reasonable allowance discounts in price may be considered. So negotiation may be done between the buyers and sellers. So after the deciding the interest of identifying the interest of buyers, you can negotiate and you can fix the some price. Then covering risk through ECGC. So international trade involves payment risk due to buyers. So Export Credit Guarantee Corporation, as we discussed in a previous session, they assure you or they help you for in the risk. So they try to cover your risk. So when the buyers is placing order without making advance payment or opening letter of credit, it is advisable to procure credit limit on the foreign buyers from ECGC to protect against a risk of non-payment. So ECGC work on a credit risk of non-payment. So students, this was about the procedure of how to become an exporter. So if you have any questions into this, then you can contact me on our group. Thank you.